Hello, my name is Jeremy Ferrero, and I'm going to dive into this lesson. What is text structure? So let's get started. What is text structure? Text structure is how information in a passage is organized. Anytime you have a piece of writing, it's going to be organized in a certain way. So I'm going to look at 7 common patterns for organization of text: chronological, sequence or process, cause and effect, compare and contrast, problem and solution, spatial and descriptive, or argumentative, which is also persuasive. So let's get started. Chronological is when information is organized in order of time. Simply, chrono means time, logic means order, so it is ordered according to time. An example of this would be Jack and Jill ran up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. What we see here is that just as Jack and Jill is part of a story, all stories are told chronologically. It's in some form of chronological order that a story is told. So generally you're seeing that in a narrative type of text. Sequence and process writing is another way to organize your text. And that is when information is listed step by step. You're going to get that with how-tos, just like we have here. Step by step, I'm going through certain text structures that you will need to know. It explains how to do it or how it happens. For instance, step 1, crack a few eggs. Step 2, add cheese. Step 3, cook on one side. Step 4, flip omelet. Now obviously this step-by-step process would go further and further until the process is finally complete, but here you see a sequence or a process of writing step by step. It doesn't occur at a specific time. There's no point in time where it says at 3 o'clock you're doing this and at 4 o'clock you're doing this. It just gives you the steps in the process. Don't confuse this with chronological. Even though it's in a sequence, it is not in chronological order. It is just a step-by-step process. Cause and effect is the next one. An action and its results are explained in cause and effect. You have the cause: students did not learn the material. The effect: they performed poorly on the test. Don't confuse this with chronological either. Just because one thing is happening before another, it is cause and effect and not chronological order. It won't have a beginning, middle, and end like stories have. It is going to have a cause and effect. And time won't progress much. Again, it is giving information, it is not telling a story. Compare and contrast is the next one. It tells how two things are similar and different. For instance, apples and oranges, which everyone says you can't compare apples and oranges. Well, I beg to differ. You can compare anything you want to. So let's compare apples and oranges. Apples and oranges are alike in these ways. They're both fruit, and they both have skin. But they're different in these ways. People don't eat orange skins. Oranges have more juice. So you have compare and contrast as a text structure. You also have problem and solution. A problem and an answer are suggested in problem and solution. Property is being spray painted. For the solution, you require a license to buy spray paint. So you have a problem and then you have a solution. You can't just spray paint something without having a license to buy spray paint, according to this problem and solution. Don't confuse with cause and effect. I understand that cause and effect and problem and solution are similar, but do not confuse the two, okay? It is presented as a problem. So when you're reading a text that is a problem and solution type text, you are going to know that there is a problem and a solution has to happen. So whereas in cause and effect, there is going to be an event that happens and then there are effects that take place after that. Spatial and descriptive writing. Racial is to race as spatial is to space. And it describes something in order of space. So it describes how something looks as well. Time doesn't pass in these passages. So when you're reading a spatial or descriptive text, time isn't going to pass in these passages. For instance, it is just going to describe my bedroom. 2 windows on the west wall, a bed in the middle, a television across from the bed, a closet by the TV. So it is giving spatial recognition of where those particular things are, and it is describing certain things about your bedroom, but it is not a story. Time isn't passing, it is just descriptive. Argumentative and persuasive is an interesting one as well, and it discusses two sides of one issue, and it's going to be structured like side A, and you're giving a reason and an example, and reason 2 and an example, and then side B, as well as 2 reasons and examples, and then there is a choosing of the sides with reasons. It also can be an agree, disagree with a side, or choose one side of an issue and support the position with reasons. So you might state the position and have a reason 1 with an example and a reason 2 with an example. Here are some tips to identify which text structure. First of all, ask, what in the world is the author doing in this paragraph? Or what in the world is the author doing in this article? And put it in your own words. And from your own words, you should have a hunch. And there are graphic organizers you can use, which I'll provide in a later lesson to see if the info fits. So you can look at a graphic organizer and you can look at the hunch and the details that you have from your summary of the text, and you can see which one fits into that graphic organizer. Look for signal words as well. Text structures sometimes are difficult to understand, but I think it's important to, as you read it, to gather information, find out what you know, figure out which graphic organizer it fits into, and which signal words are signaling as a cause and effect of problem and solution. And if you need to, refer back to this video, and it will give you some basics on how to identify text structure. Thank you.